Hi everybody, Heidi here with Dreammaker Pens. I wanted to go through today what the difference between a mold, a raw, and a version is in the pen world. I've been getting a lot of the same frequently asked questions, and so usually when that happens, it's always a good time to do a quick video and put those questions to rest. Wanted to first start with what a mold is. If you think of when they make dentures or they do something for your teeth, you go in and they pour something into your mouth, they let it sit, they take it out, and they now have a mold of your teeth. Essentially, we're doing the same thing to make a pen. We're doing a mold, I made a mold here, of our pen into something very similar to this. I know this is Play-Doh, but in our factories, they're doing a rubber mold, okay? So you have a mold. What they then do is they're going to pour the metal into the mold, and by doing that, what they produce is what we call a raw. So if you look at that, all that is just the metal poured into the mold. It's dried and turned into a pen. We call that a raw pen, okay? What they do with raw pens is they then fill each one of those little crevices with enamel or the color. So what ends up happening is you go from, here's a raw of the Dreammaker Pens pen, to filling it with an enamel. So it goes from a raw to a final pen, okay? So mold, pour the metal, then it makes a raw, okay? Now, let's talk about versions real quick. If you are in the world of selling things online, versions may just mean two of something, okay? So if I was selling something on Etsy, let's say I'm selling this particular pen on Etsy, okay? This is an LGBT heart, and it has a rainbow on it, okay? I may also be selling this, which is also it's a transgender pride heart, but it's also a rainbow heart. If I was on Etsy, I could post both of these as a different version of the same pen. In the pen making world, these are two completely different pens. So this would require a mold and this would require a mold because if you counted the stripes and the amount of colors, they're totally different pens, okay? So this may be in the sales world, two versions, but in the pen world, this is two completely separate pens. Okay. Now, when we use the term versions, we mean color changes. So you could have one mold, but then the colors change on the pens, which would create two versions. So if you look at this snail here, you can see we used one mold and we did two different the artist did two different color patterns, giving us a version 1 and a version 2 of the same pen. Okay. Another example of that would be going back to our poop pens. That one mold poured the raw, which produced a gold poop pen, a brown poop pen. We got very fancy and we did a swirl poop pen. So you can see it's still the same mold, just the way they laid the colors is different, which makes it a different version using the same mold. So if you are looking to do two different color versions, maybe you want to do a silver metal and maybe you wanted to do a gold metal for the pens, you can do that with the same artwork, okay? Now, if it's two separate molds, it's going to be two separate pens, which essentially you'll get charged two mold fees, which is essentially two setup fees. I hope that clears up some answers for you. Again, two different sets of lines, two different pens. Taking the same pen, adding glitter to it, two different versions. Taking the same mold and doing two different color patterns, two different versions. Okay, hope that clears it up for you. Again, I'm Heidi. I'm with Dreammaker Pens. If you have any questions, our website is full of information, which is dreammakerpens.com, as well as follow us on social media. Dreammakerpens.com or Dreammaker Pens is our handle on all social media. Hope to help those new pen makers. Shoot us any questions you may have, and we hope to see you in the pen world real soon. Thanks.